Breaking news. The San Francisco 49ers have signed a player to the active roster. The 49ers go out and sign offensive lineman Ben Bartch right here from the Jaguars practice squad. Now, this is an intriguing signing. This is a guy with 20 starts over the last 3 years, the former fourth round draft pick out of a D3 school in 2020, St. John's, Minnesota. He was selected at 116 overall by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's 6'6, 315 pounds, and only 25 years old. So this is actually a very, very intriguing signing because one of the things about Ben Bartch is he is still kind of a developmental offensive lineman. He was a tight end, or he got recruited and played early on in his college career at tight end. Then they asked him to move to tackle. And then in the NFL, he's only played at guard. So he has some scheme versatility. And when you see these converted tight ends to offensive linemen, there's always one thing you can likely point to. They're going to move very well for an offensive lineman. And that's the first thing that I see when I get into watching some of Ben Bartch's tape. Right off the bat, feet. His feet move very well. He has a really good base. I see good hip bend. I see good hands. I see a guy who looks like a converted tight end to guard. He has great size. And again, he has great movement ability for a player of that size. So the San Francisco 49ers, and this is exactly kind of the typical body style that we look at when we start to scout offensive linemen for the San Francisco 49ers, because typically, they've had an zone style presence up front, which tends to pick offensive linemen that move well in space. And that's exactly what he does. So far, from what I've seen, he's really good at getting to second level, meaning he can disengage and peel to linebacker. I think this is actually a low key quality signing to add to the active roster. Obviously, this to me, a lot of people, early questions, does this say more about Aaron Banks? This is my first gut look at this. I think this says more about Nick Zakelj, because Nick Zakelj was on the final roster and the active roster, I should say. And obviously he goes down with a bicep injury and he's out for the season. And when you look at the other offensive linemen on the active, you have Feliciano, then you have two tackles, Matt Pryor and Jalen Moore. Neither one of those guys are guards or interior offensive linemen. The 49ers go out and get a guard specific, at least in the NFL. When I've seen some of the clips at the Senior Bowl, he definitely worked at tackle. He worked at tackle in college. So he has that ability to play out in space. But in the NFL, they kicked him inside to guard. So he does theoretically come with positional versatility. However, he has found a home at guard, which to me is a replacement for Nick Zakelj. Now, obviously, we want to know what's going on with Aaron Banks and when Aaron Banks is going to be back. But from my viewpoint, this is more of a Nick Zakelj replacement because the 49ers did have an active spot open with Talanoa Hufanga's injury and him being placed on IR. The 49ers have the opportunity to go out and get a guy with starting experience who's really young, 25 years old, already been in the league for 4 years. That means the arrow is still pointing up on this guy. So this is very intriguing signing. Again, this is a D3 kid, started at tight end, converted to tackle, and has played guard in the NFL. He has over 1,400 snaps, 925 pass blocking snaps, 504 run blocking snaps. He's done okay from a grade standpoint according to PFF, but the biggest thing that I'm looking at is I'm looking at traits. Um, I'm looking at traits, and so far I see some quality traits here. I see there's a foundation to work with this guy. So I'm very intrigued by this signing. I have no idea what it's going to look like in regards to actually playing or what have you, but I am very, very intrigued by this signing. So, 49ers go out, get an offensive lineman, and in my opinion, like I said, to replace Nick Zakelj, to have interior offensive line depth, and they get a good one. They get a good one, a good guy with some experience here. So, this is going to be low key an underrated signing. So far, I like what I see. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.